YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you're feeling this content, smash that thumbs up button. Tonight, I'm introducing my guest. He is the #1 arm wrestler out of Australia, Lachlan Adair. What's up, brother? How you doing today?
What's going on, man? Yeah, man, I'm good. How you doing?
Doing very well, bro. So I wanted to first start off and just kind of go through your trip to East versus West 4. I know you didn't get the results that you were looking for, but you still put up a good performance out there, and just kind of wanted to hear about everything.
Yeah, so, man. We'll start from the start. Man, I've got such bad, international flight luck. Man, so the flight over, I got there early, so that was good, man. I got there on a Monday. For a match on Saturday. The time zone difference between Turkey and Australia, I recovered really quick. So I think next time, if there's a next time, I'll be able to push it a little bit later on in the week and still be able to perform. The match. Damn. Sanders, too big, too strong, too good, too experienced.
Well, hold on. I want to first hear about how long was your trip there? How long did it take you to get there, and how many connections and all?
So I had 3 planes, 20 hours.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah, the flight, like the first 2 legs was on a really old plane, and I was a bit worried about that. First off, it's really expensive to fly, us Australians anyway. So no criticism or gripe on the promoter or anger or anything like that. But yeah, I'm used to kind of flying Dreamliners, and the Dreamliners are built a little bit different, right? It's a pressurized, but cabin like all planes, but they add some humidity and stuff like that, and it's a lot easier on the body. So I was a little bit worried about how I was going to pull up after having 9 hours on that sort of plane. And the difference might be 2 or 3%, but it all kind of adds up. Yeah. Turkish Airlines was pretty sick though. It's a bit smaller, so pretty cramped up, but that's how it is, man. That's how it goes. But yeah, overall the flight was pretty smooth. Getting there was good. I had my baggage this time, so that was sick.
Nice.
I didn't get it on the way home. I lost my bags on the way home. I got them now though, so. The trip over was okay. Was okay. Yeah.
So now tell us about the lead up, the couple days before. Any fun times? Any mentions you want to make note of?
Yeah. So we hung out a bit, which was sick. I went and got after the flight with COVID and everything. I went with Chance Shaw to get a glutathione IV drip, like an immune booster and all that sort of stuff, and just kick the dust off those long flights. So that was good. Super cheap in Turkey, getting stuff like that. I think it was 150 Australian or something like that to get that done, which was nothing, because back home that's expensive as. So so that was good.
Did you notice any improvements with that? Any benefits?
No, it was hard to say. Hard to say, because I was worried about kind of having a cold or a flu or something like that from the flight, and it hadn't hit me yet. So I was really worried that come Friday or some shit, I'd be sick. And I was pretty paranoid about it, because it's a long flight and no one was wearing masks and all that sort of stuff, which was awesome to see. But at the same time, it's COVID's still kicking around, and you get a bit, you want everything to be perfect leading up to a match. So when anything goes wrong, it's really irritating. But,
now, what about the food and all that? Were you able to find food that you liked? Was that easy to stay on your nutrition plan?
Yeah, turkey was good for my food, man. I just basically the whole week I just ate meat, bread, eggs, rice. Just got stuck into kind of how I basically eat here, to be honest. So the food was good. I was pretty happy about that. I didn't put any weight on. I was eating in a way that I thought I'd get on stage heavy, But then when I weighed in at the same time as Ryan, I was like 112, so that was like 240, 247 or something like that on the dot.
Okay.
So wasn't as heavy as I thought I'd be, but that's all good.
Now, what about like when you went out with the group, with the athletes, the dinner and all? Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Oh, man, there was so much in that week. First up, I went out for dinner with Engen, just he and I, and we had a sick time. We were out talking for like 3 hours after dinner. So that was amazing to get to know Engen on a real personal level. He's amazing guy. But the dinner, yeah, man, it was like you're just surrounded by monsters, right? Like I'm sitting next to Alex Kadecha. We got Hermes on one side, got Prudnik on the other side, and I was like, I'm not used to feeling like the small guy. Man, I felt like the small guy. That was those guys are monsters. So yeah, and you were sitting up next to Jerry and everything, right?
Yeah, I was over with Don Hollywood, Jerry, Corey Miller. It was a pretty fun table, and I kind of got a kick out of the whole place, especially watching Jerry's face when he realized that he's got to cook his own food. They came and they gave him all raw meat. He's like, I like mine cooked. And they're like, you got to do it yourself. He's like, I don't do this. But yeah, it was pretty cool, man. They just give you a plate of raw meat and all. And then we got the grill right in front of us, and you just, you cook your own. And I thought that was a really cool concept. Definitely a lot of fun. And to be surrounded with all the who's who of arm wrestling. I mean, that was just amazing in itself.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Definitely want to go back. I think next time I might spend a little bit of extra time and go see Turkey itself. I've never been a big fan of big cities, but I like seeing the countryside, and kind of like when you showed me around Petaluma and that. It's like, show me the nice kind of places, and not super interested in cities. Cities are cities, like, they're never too far different. So
yeah, I wish we could have got like at least 2 days or something just to go exploring and see that. But we just had so much stuff going on in the arm wrestling world. It was just one thing after the other, which I had a lot of fun with that. Kept us busy and all. So fast forwarded to now we're at the press conference. It's Friday night and all, and were you surprised at the magnitude of this press conference when you walked into that room and saw how big it was with everybody?
Yeah, man. It was kind of the first time I saw how many athletes were there, and how many people were, people such as yourself and kind of the extras that we know that Engen brought out. And the press conference was like the first indication of like, holy shit, look what Engen has put together. I know he had some amazing helpers, but I mean, he's at the front of all of it. He organized, it would have been easily like 40 people, right? Like flights, accommodation, like it all ran through Engen. And it was, yeah. And look, that was the first kind of professional press conference I was ever at. So I was a little bit nervous. Hard not to, but it was fun, man. It was fun. Just talking a bunch of smack.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that definitely was. And what'd you think of the whole Ryan and Coach Ray? It seems like they got the spotlight of the whole night as far as the press conference with their back and forth and all. What was your take on all that?
Yeah, I mean the two guys with the biggest mouths in the sport, right? Like they're the two big guys in YouTube. And I mean, like Artem's big, and so is Alex, but they don't really talk much,
Yeah.
And you're definitely on the come up with that. But Ray and Ryan are the voice of arm wrestling right now. Yeah.
Yes.
So it was super good it was fun for me just seeing them go back and forth. And, Ryan, I think Ryan did reasonably well, a lot of pressure. And yeah, but Ray, you could tell all the Europeans were smug, right? I think they just know, like they're all high level athletes and they just walk in like they own the joint. And look, results speak for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing is I hope that they start learning or at least trying to get better with English and all, because that was the only thing that, none of them really spoke English and it was very hard to communicate. And the translators were great. They did a great job, but it kind of just took the energy out of the room. It was just going on so long with the translator in between. So I just hope that and encourage them to start learning, to be able to speak English a little more or just understand it a little, because I seen Ermes. I mean, I was really impressed with him, man. I couldn't believe, he speaks very well. And a couple of months ago, he needed a translator. Now he don't need nobody.
Yeah, he's done really well. Prudnik's pretty good. I feel like he could still brush up a little bit more, but it'd be awesome if Morozov got better with his English, because he sounded like a funny dude. Like everyone was laughing when he was saying, and we had to like wait for the translator, who again did a good job, but they missed the tone and the inflection, like the shit that actually made what he said really funny.
Yeah,
we didn't catch that, So right, would have been good if all the boys, because they all speak, like there's differences between Ukrainian, Russian, Georgian. It's like we all speak one language, so it's like,
yeah. So I do hope that. I think Engen was gonna be working on that and encouraging them all. But like you said, that kid Artem Morozov, man, I really like him. We call him the Terminator. And what'd you think of him, bro? When you see him, you're just like, holy shit, this dude is big, man. Like,
yeah, man, he's a big dude, like super tall and just super wide. What? He's only 24.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what he's going to look like if he's still hanging around? I know the Euros kind of drop off, fairly quick, but if we can keep him around for, till he's in his mid-30s, mid-30s Morozov, that's a scary looking dude. Like he's going to be hard as granite. He's still got that 24-year-old, looks a bit
puppy
soft.
Dog. Like he's a puppy dog, built, still has to grow into his paws, and at 285 and 6'4", and you look at him and you're like, yo, this boy could be 350, no problem.
No problem. Like it's weird to look at a dude that big and go, he's still growing. He's got some growing to do, which what a match. We'll talk about it later, but yeah. So a very impressive athlete.
Oh yeah, he definitely displayed it that night. So now let's move on until competition day. We know it went down in Turkey. It was going down at 8 p.m. So what did your day look like of competition? Did you sleep late? Did you get up early? Like,
I slept late. I knew it was going to be a long day. Like an 8 p.m. start, and I didn't get on until 9. And then we were after pulling. Like I think I got back to my hotel at like 2:30, something like that, and I was just exhausted. I don't know how these guys after pull for hours, because like I don't know, maybe I just got to manage my adrenaline a bit better. But I have like massive adrenaline dump, and I'm cooked. Like it fully takes it out of me. But it's a long night. So the day of, I slept late, ate no protein, just carbs and fluids the whole day.
Okay. Now, what were you feeling? Were you feeling confident? Did your nerves kick in?
Yeah, so you always get nervous, right? But I've been trying to make a concerted effort to go, no, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. Not nervous, I'm excited. And just by telling yourself that, it's fun. You're going to have more fun up there. And I think for me, long term, when it's not fun anymore, much like John, John was the same way. He's still having fun with it. And I think when he retired, having spoken to him a couple of years ago in Arizona, it wasn't really that fun for him anymore. So he just stopped. And now he's come back and he's like, hell yeah, like I'm having fun. I think he's lowered his expectation of his own performance a little bit. I think that allows him to have more fun. But for me, it's I go in trying to be excited about it. And it helps me manage my nerves throughout the day so I don't kind of peak early, right? I can keep my heart rate down and what have you. So, but yeah, definitely requires management. I felt good. That was the thing. I felt good.
What did you do right before? Like, did you take an energy drink? Was there any pre-workout? Like, what was the whole plan like right before, like say within the first hour before you're on?
Hour before, yeah. So I had caffeine. the way of just like an energy drink.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm going to switch that to coffee, to be honest, because I had a couple of shots of coffee before I worked out the other day, and I felt like it was way more effective than an energy drink. I know caffeine's caffeine, but there's something about the delivery of it. The coffee felt like I was
Stronger.
stronger, a little bit more energy. It might
Okay.
just be a little bit more bioavailable, if you will, you know?
You know what I feel when I drink coffee rather than like energy drink? I feel like more sharp, more focused. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's just maybe more caffeine or a different type of caffeine. I'm not really sure what's doing that.
It's the same amount. Like those energy drinks are kicking at like 160 milligrams of caffeine. And I don't think coffee's even coming close to that. But there's something, it's a different type, I think, you know, and it just does better with people. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I do better with shots of coffee. If I have like a latte, like we have here in Australia, we're like big coffee dudes. The milk can kind of slow me down. But if I have like a long black, like an Americano, I feel pretty sharp. I feel good. Yeah.
Now, is there anything different you would do as far? Did you experience like a energy dump? I know you were saying that before, but when did that happen?
That was after the match. After the match, where yeah, I think it's a big mental game for me as well, and you just get tired mentally. And you know, I got to wonder, like, and I wanted to talk to Toddzilla about this. This year, that was my fourth big comp. Yeah, fourth big comp, and I got another one in Dubai, which we'll probably talk about later too. It's 5 comps a year, and I think that's too many.
Okay.
Because I haven't been able to. It's like finish a comp, work, and I'm immediately back in the gym trying to get my elbow right and get healthy, and then like I'm training. There's no time to switch off. There's no time to get into a really good training cycle. There's no like, you know, when you lose a match, especially, you go, okay, I've got some things to work on. You learn a whole bunch, but by the time you get to your next match, which is only a month and a half or 2 months away,
No work
you
was
don't
done.
have. Yeah, like you don't really have, like, you spend a year competing. You get stronger from competing, obviously, but I think I'm going to come into like next year. I'm really going to try and only do like 3, maybe 4 tops comps, so I can get into good training cycles and I can take time to improve on things between matches, and you know, and maybe that's, you know, part of where I am in my arm wrestling journey. Like I'm 6 years in, the improvements to be made there's still a lot, right? And just fine tuning things along the way. Where someone who's been in the sport for 20 years, you know, they just keep competing, right? Like they don't have as much to learn or as much kind of holes to fill up, you know, which is something that Sandra highlighted.
I also feel like you need kind of a recovery period, you know, like, you know, at least a month, maybe even 2 months after your match, just to get everything 100% again and to get back into your schedule, you know?
Yeah, like my elbow comes good probably I'm going to say a week before I compete almost every time.
Okay.
You know, it's like my elbow's pissing me off and it's kind of in the background. I'm still training, I'm still strong, and I'm not saying it affects me, but yeah, it'll be 100% good like a week out from comp. So it's like, and then I compete and fuck it up again. You know, it's like it's a little bit taxing physically, less so I think, but mentally, yeah, it can be. You don't ever switch off. You know, so I think that might contribute to the adrenaline dump. You know, I'm just fatigued. You know, I know Todd has said that he's looking forward to competing less and taking a little bit more time between matches to really prepare and get healthy and be fresh.
You know, it's funny you say that, bro, but then I just see today a flyer that he's pulling in Canada September 1st. So, you know, I thought he was taking off, you know, and, you know, I guess he just meant from East versus West, but, you know, he did. I think he already pulled this kid in Canada already, you know, so.
Workshop, yeah, he did that. It was 2 versus 1.
Yeah. So I'm a little confused why they're running that back again, but hey, you know, another payday, I guess, for Todd, and, you know,
Yeah,
I
that's
say
what
I'm
I'm
not
thinking.
taking away anything from Pork Chop at all, but I mean, Toddzilla is just, he's Toddzilla, man.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
I want to get to then now you finally it's your match, 9 p.m. You go up there on stage and everything. And first observations of Saunders. I mean, I know we were hanging out during the week and going to breakfast and all, but now it's competition day and you look over on the other side of the table and you see him. What is your thoughts?
I'm excited, man. It's like finally time to throw down and get it done. Full excited. We all knew he came in big. When we agreed to the match, he was 112 kilos, same as me. And he was about that against Chance Shaw. He had, I think, arm wars a month beforehand, but he had some time to get ready for me. And he came in like almost like 7-8 kilos heavier. So how many pounds is that? That's like 20 pounds heavier almost.
Yeah, he looked phenomenal. He definitely looked like he stepped everything up, looking real thick and all. So now you grip up. Is this the first time you're really getting to feel his hand and all that?
The thing about Sanders is he's not a mongrel in the setup. It feels comfortable. You go, yeah, cool. Like I'm in my spot. I'm ready to go. And he really coils up, right? Really gets into that. He jams his elbow forward. He leans down, and he's just ready to pronate and just go, right? He false started on the first one. I think I slipped. Like I wanted to make sure I was in straps because I knew I wasn't going to be able to fight his hand. And I went high, right? I went high, dropped my body low, and I was going to try and like high hook him across, and that was a mistake. So first round, slip, and we go to straps, and I pull back, and I kind of just hit off like this was what I had on my brain. And then I just got opened. And what happened was like my wrist was good. He didn't open my wrist. He just turned me. He just twisted and just shoved my thumb down, and that went away.
What he like pronate? He was pronating the whole time. Is that what
pronating the whole time? Yeah. And he just like straight sideways, just about. It wasn't I didn't feel a whole lot of back pressure. You know what I mean? Like my wrist was still up. I still had flexion, but I was twisted. Right.
Now, was that the lane you were expecting from him?
Yes, and I thought I'd be strong enough to be able to stop it.
Okay. Now, was it so much the power, or was it more the speed that got you?
It's both. I think timing wise, I felt a little bit. I just felt off the go. I felt slow. Like even if like I'm not as fast as the individual, I try and get that timing in where as soon as the ref opens his mouth, then I'm good to go. But I was really staring at Sanders and waiting for his reaction and little signs for him to start moving, and he gave away nothing. Like his face was deadpan, had nothing to give me. That happens, right? And you go, okay, shit. And then you get 20 things that roll into your head all at once, and you've got to try and figure out, what to do next, right? So round 2, I slip again. I'm slipping underneath, which is not a problem for me. It always feels comfortable. It doesn't hurt. And then I thought what I'll do is I'll crank my wrist back and try and pull that thumb forward and do a Toddzilla, pull back and use my lats. And the way he gripped me was that was probably the quickest pen of the night, that second one.
So what's going through your head now? Like, are you totally confused, or do you still feel like you're in this match, or do you know you're getting dominated?
I knew with those things I was getting dominated. Then I thought third round, I'm going to press him. I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to flop wrist press him. Just going to slam it in. And then he said to me, "Do you want a hook?" And that threw me. That threw me hard, right? So
And I
instead
bet
of
you right
hooking,
then, Coach Ray was going nuts because he kept yelling. He kept telling him beforehand, "Do not do this. Do not try hooking him and all that." So he definitely took a shot right there because I mean he could have really screwed himself on that one.
he did take a shot. I remember Ray told me that Sanders had said later that like he was seconds away from gassing in that hook, but like I was gassed. I was gassed. So it's like he was seconds away. Well, he had 3 seconds more than me, right?
Wow.
But what had happened was when he said we'll hook, I should have insisted on straps, and I should have done shot in like a press hook. But what happened was we gripped high in the hands and went into a hook, and that was dumb. I should have gone wrist on wrist, gotten deeper, and really pushed my wrist against his, because the way he hooked was still very hand dominant.
Okay.
Still very hand dominant. And I think going into the match, I believed that my hand was really good and then I could back it. And it is, but just not good at Sanders, right? The guy is Zloty winner, European winner multiple time, and podiums at WAF in the 110 kilo division. Where would Sanders be? This 120 kilo, this 265 pound version of Sanders go. I mean, we get a little clue with the after pulling. He's right up there. The guy's the man. After pulling's after pulling, but it is what it is. It shows something at least that he's at that level. He's not fringe elite anymore. He's right in the mix. Where I'm still fringe. Might be a bit presumptuous on my end, but I feel like I'm right there. Just got some things to plug up. But anyway, that third round, we were hand hooking, so it was still hand based, and I got into this dragging nonsense, and I got opened up. And look, when you look at the match, I'm at the back of the pad, and he's at the back of the pad, and we're at the center of the table. The dude's massive, right?
Yeah.
My arm's not that long, so he just reached over, and I watch it. I go, oh, if I don't know. I watch it and think, would I have had enough power to then come forward and crowd him up, right? And the answer is no. Maybe I could have pushed my shoulder forward and my elbow, and maybe, but it didn't feel like an option at the time. I was really trying to keep my pronator up while I was getting opened up, and it was third round, and had I had another round, I'd probably given it up and tried to go wrist on wrist, maybe. Hindsight's a hell of a thing. I don't know what I would have done.
What about that press? Do you think that would have worked because you never got to try it?
I don't think the press would have worked, but I think it would have put me in a much better position to be nice and tight in my shoulder and hook wrist on wrist how I like hooking, not palm on palm. That palm on palm hook that we did, his hands too much. He's too big. Hands too strong. I should have avoided it and went past it and went to his wrist. But it's all a learning curve, right? Like I walked away from that. People thought I was really disappointed. I wasn't at all disappointed. Sure, would have been nice to get the win. But it's just not yet. I had some things to learn, and that excites me. Because inside of Australia, no one puts my weaknesses on blast. There is no one person that can make me think, I need to work on that particular thing. There's no one. So it's only until I go international, and maybe it's good I talk so much shit because people want me at their events, right? Because it brings so much interest. But that gives me that exposure to be able to get put on blast by athletes who are more advanced than I am. And then, the arm wrestling community is so good, right? You're in it, and it's an amazing community. And out of that, I asked Sanders, I went up to him directly after the match and said, okay, what do I need to work on? And look, it takes a bit of humble pie. I get it. It didn't feel good to have to go up to my opponent and go, so what's up? Like, what can you give me? But knowing how the sport is, how it is, he gave me some awesome advice. He gave me some exercises. He gave me some stuff that I needed to work on. And look, I've tried them in the gym. I laughed my fucking head off because I watched him do a particular movement with 52 kilos. So like 105 pounds. No, more. It'd be 115 pounds, something like that. I struggled with about 65 pounds.
Wow. So
I was
that,
like, whoa, holy shit, that's a massive hole that I can now plug up. You know, if I get 20 pounds stronger in that in the next month, that's going to make a massive difference to my game.
and
That's exciting, right?
just think of the long game, bro. Oh my God. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna tighten up everything. And I also want to tell you, bro, people don't just get you involved in their events because you talk shit, bro. It's because you are an amazing arm wrestler, brother. I mean, you're 6 years in and you're on a world stage, bro. So, and you know, you belong there. So in
Yeah.
every single loss, you know, I know how you are. You're one of my homies. I got to know you, and I know this is lit a fire under your ass, bro. And you know,
Yeah, massive.
it probably would have been, it's probably the best thing that could happen for you, you know, in the long run, looking at things, because just like you said, you're going to go after all those weaknesses, and I'm sure the next time you go, well, I mean, you don't got much time until King of Table 5, but after that, man, I know how you are, bro. That's going to be probably your strengths real soon. So
Yeah, and that's why I'm excited, because I go, you know what, me getting strong is easy.
Yep.
What is difficult for me is finding where I need to get strong, and why this is so exciting, because now I know where I need to get, like my next phase, where I need to get strong. And like, it'll always go, okay, that's come up. Now something else gets highlighted that needs to come up. And as I climb the levels, different things are going to get highlighted. And I'm excited for that, right? Because it's just a challenge. You take a loss, and like you don't learn anything from winning. So like potentially the next time I pull Sanders, if he continues on his winning streak, he's not going to learn anything. So the next time I pull him, you know, we might see a different result, because, you know, when I've taken those couple of wins, I just kept training how I always trained. I was like, yeah, that's working, man. You know? And I would have continued to do so had I not had the opportunity to travel, had I not taken some losses. You know, I would have just kept on going. And then what's going to happen? I end up 8 years in the sport and then have my shit highlighted. It feels like a waste of time, you know. So I'm really grateful and happy that I get to have an opportunity to be very efficient with my time in the sport. And I think, you know, I have to give credit to Ryan and some of the opportunities that I've had since starting arm wrestling, in terms of any other Australian arm wrestler and the opportunities that I've had. Well, this is why I'm number one, because I went to Worlds 6 months into starting arm wrestling. Like, it was the one trip I've paid for, and I went, fuck it, I'm going. And what's the worst thing going to happen? I'm going to have my ass beat at Worlds? Like, whatever, right? But I was in that room, and I took a couple of wins, and I lost, whatever, mad experience. I came back, and then I won my first Australian title, you know, and then it all kind of goes from there. And, you know, it's been a really fun journey, and it ain't stopping. I'm going right to the top. So when people, like I said, I don't read the comments, but I know the chatter, and I'm like, bring it. You're all going to be eating shit soon.
well, here's a little suggestion, you know, what I was thinking for you. Maybe if you could get some free time, maybe do a little traveling around, like maybe come to the States and, you know, set up like maybe 2-3 different places to go, and just set up with some of these elite guys, and, you know, go to the different practices and just get to train with a bunch of guys, you know, because I think that might really be beneficial to you, and a lot more than anybody else, just because you're not getting that kind of challenge over in Australia anymore. You passed that, you know, you're the top dog over there. So, you know, it's hard when you're the best man on the continent, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, yeah, you're 100% right. And that's definitely in my plans. I want to, you know, go for a holiday, bring the family, and just, go to arm wrestling practices with top level people, you know, come to the States, and there's so many people there to learn from. And, you know, my wife loves Europe. So, you know, there'll be a trip in the future doing an arm wrestling tour of Europe. Like she's dying to go to Georgia. Love to go to Georgia. I was like, hell yeah. Like, I'll go to Georgia, go to Turkey, get a chance to train with Engin, and then maybe even go to Latvia and kind of just
Yeah. Also,
trick off.
you could kind of tie in doing like some kind of like seminars and workshops when you go over
Yeah,
there, and this way, it all makes sense too, financially, and you get a great
yeah,
vacation with the
absolutely.
family and learning experience.
Yeah, man. My daughter's getting a little bit, she's a little bit older now. We're not far away from being able to like put her on a long ass flight, you know. She's
Nice.
and that's kind of like holding me back at the minute is well not holding me back. I'm just waiting for her to be able to not be such a pain in the ass on the plane, yeah. Traveling with kids is something else.